Hey guys, Lightspeed Sound here with vlog number fuck if I know, and today we're going to talk about religion. Specifically, we're going to talk about how using modern interpretations of the Bible to combat gay marriage and the Occupy Wall Street movement are really fucking fucked up. Okay, so if we're going to talk about Christianity, you have the Word of God, right? This is Genesis, this is the Bible. In the beginning, there was the Word of God, and the Word was good. If, in the beginning, there was the Word of God, and the Word was good, then man must have had really shitty listening skills. Because if you really look at the King James Bible, it's basically one really convoluted Shakespearean old white man version of the game Telephone. Telephone, like, you know, the game you play at sleepovers where you have a really long line of people and one person on one end whispers something and then the next person whispers something and you go all the way at the end, and then in the end the phrase you end up with is absolutely fucking nothing with the phrase you started out with, where you start out saying like, my favorite color is red, and you end up with, I like to fuck dead frogs in bed. Yeah, that's basically what the King James Bible is. Because, okay, if you have the Bible and it started out in Aramaic, and then it went to Hebrew, and then it went to Greek, and then it went to Latin, or whatever, I don't know, there was a shit ton of languages in a really fucking hell of a long time, you end up with the King James Bible, which takes out bits, is basically a political weapon, and makes no mention of the feminine side of God. The end product is fucking chock full of fucking contradictions. Because on one hand, you have the Old Testament. And in the Old Testament, God is all like, smite, smite, smite. He fucking loves smiting. Kind of like that part in Mulan where Mushu was like, dishonor on you, dishonor on your family, dishonor on all of your friends. It's like that, only it's God and it's smiting. Smite your enemies, smite the people who don't believe in me, smite your friends who don't believe in me, let me pretend to smite you for fun, kill the Philistines, take their foreskins, cut them off, pile them high, and burn them. On the other hand, you have the New Testament, and the New Testament has Jesus. And Jesus is all like, love everybody, hugs all around, fuck rich people, don't hug them, but as long as you give your money to the poor, you're good, and good Samaritans are awesome, you're so cool. And you know why there's contradictions? It's because the Bible, which is the Word of God, was written down by men. Men who were clearly really shitty stenographers. Men who had the dictation skills of fucking orangutans. And when I say men, I do mean men. I don't mean mankind, I mean men, as in the dudes who were in charge of the whole oppression through illiteracy thing. Before you get on my case for all of this shit, let me just say, I'm religious. I identify as Christian. I believe in an intelligent designer, and I believe that Jesus is totes my homeboy. But I mean, being a Christian, believing in God, that doesn't mean that I've completely lost hold of my logic and everything. No. Being a Christian doesn't mean that I think it's okay for you to make other people miserable when their actions you're calling them out on have absolutely no direct bearing on your life and well-being. A lot of people in their arguments against gay marriage have this idea that gay marriage is somehow the gateway sin to hell. That somehow allowing two consenting adults who love each other very much to get married is going to mean that soon we're gonna let pedophiles marry their victims, and people marry their dogs, and we're gonna allow rampant necrophilia because you can marry the corpse. No, this is false. Because on one hand, you have child molesters. And obviously, convicting a child molester makes sense. This person is dangerous, this person is choosing innocent victims, and is obviously a menace to society, and you need to contain that. But on the other hand, you have gay marriage, and there's no way you're going to be able to convince me that allowing two consenting adults to get married is forcing you to accept that gay people are people too, and thus infringing on your freedom of religion. Fuck that. No, that is the most unmitigated BS that I've fucking ever heard. We're not saying you can't believe what you want to believe. We're saying people should be able to believe what they want to believe. And if people believe that they're in love and they want to get married, that shit should happen. If you don't want a gay marriage, don't fucking get one. It's as simple as that. That being said, I also really don't see what gives anyone the right to condemn me to hell. Or to heaven, for that matter. Because, I mean, How the hell are you gonna know what's gonna happen to me when I die? Think about Jesus, right? Jesus was all like, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Jesus was basically a hippie, Occupy Wall Streeter, queer as fuck pansexual. Any man who has had 2 major Broadway musicals written about his life and work is clearly really fucking fabulous. Jesus, he was like free love all around and hated rich people, said you should donate all of your shit to the poor, said you should tax the rich more, and was a fucking walking, talking version of socialized healthcare. Jesus was walking around, laying hands, giving poor people the medical care they needed, healing them, and being like, go forth and be healed. Jesus was not all like, you should receive your invoice in 10 days. No, Jesus was like, go forth, preach the word, tell everybody, I'm here to help. And also, if you're gonna use your arguments against gay marriage, you should remember that Jesus was an effeminate dude who surrounded himself with 12 other dudes. There were no women in the picture with Jesus. In fact, Jesus wasn't really macho. Jesus hated all of the macho fighting bullshit. He wasn't a warrior or a soldier or anything. He was all like, turn the other cheek, refused to fight, refused to like really physically attack anyone except for the people who were setting up shop in the temple. And also, Jesus loved proselytizing and preaching, which are basically the biblical equivalents of being a theater major. So when you say that God is on your side and God is going to condemn all of these people who are not like you, maybe you should read the whole passage of the Good Samaritan and New Testament where Jesus says shit like love thy neighbor and getting a rich man into the kingdom of heaven is harder than getting a camel through the eye of a needle. Stop fucking picking and choosing these phrases out of the Old Testament and ignoring everything the New Testament says in order to somehow justify your bigoted homophobia. It doesn't fucking make sense. Because, by the way, all of those phrases about thou shalt not lay with a man as thou should lay with a woman are fucking right next to the phrases about how women should release a white dove and bathe in vinegar after their period, and how you shouldn't wear mixed clothing fabrics and shit like that. Why the fuck should we follow that shit that has absolutely no bearing in today's society? In the end, what makes Christianity Christianity is the New Testament. It's Jesus Christ. If you're gonna call yourself a Christian, you can't fucking ignore huge passages of the New Testament while focusing in on a tiny little verse of Leviticus. I really don't think that makes sense. And I think you need to do your research. I think you need to look shit up. I think you need to realize that the Occupy Wall Street movement is exactly the shit that Jesus would have advocated. And gay marriage will not personally affect you at all. Instead, it will be making other people happy at absolutely no consequence to you. I honestly don't think you have any right to tell me who to fuck. Because in the end, unless I want to get you into my pants and you want to get in there too, it's really none of your fucking business. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I have other videos too. They are linked here and here. Please click on them, and I hope you guys have a nice day.